Okay, in this video, I'm trying to answer the question of what goes wrong that causes neck pain. Regardless of the type of neck pain, the diagnosis, you could have arthritis, you could have joint pain, mechanical joint pain, you could have a disc issue, you could have degenerative disc changes, you could have a pinched nerve, disc herniation, all that stuff is a diagnosis. But if you have neck pain when you're moving, the causes are coming from motion or that's driven from the bottom up and the top down. Remember, joints and muscles and tendons and ligaments, they don't just wake up and say, oh, I'm gonna move. They get moved because the body has a driver, a decision. In this case, we're gonna talk about two drivers. The eyes, when I look left and right, that is a decision. The body moves and drives motion from the top down through the neck. And then I can also use my hands. When I use my hands and I reach and wave or give somebody a hug or a high five, I'm moving my hand, but the motion that my hand does creates a chain reaction where motion is transmitted from the bottom up through my neck. And so we need to understand that the neck moves because of drivers. Therefore, the neck is a reactor. It reacts to those motions. And so what happens, what goes wrong typically is that there's damage that happens in the neck itself, but the damage was caused by the drivers. The drivers not moving the way they should and pushing excessive motion either up into the neck or down from the top down into the neck. And so we know that the two most common drivers that can cause problems in the neck are the eyes, looking left and right, up and down, and then the areas right in that driver, so the areas in the top of the neck, the muscles around the neck, not moving properly, and then pushing more motion down, as well as the arm. When I move my hand, the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder complex move, the shoulder blade moves. The shoulder blade is attached to the rib cage and the spine through muscles and soft tissue, and that makes our spine have to move. Our spine then translates and continues to move, which pushes motion up into the neck. Anywhere along that chain, most commonly either in the shoulder or the shoulder blade or the mid-spine, if that's not moving properly, as I do move my arm, it's going to push motion up and into the neck. Now, we know that we can do a driver of the eyes individually, right? I also know I can move my hands in any direction individually. But really, most of the activities in our day are occurring when my eyes are moving around and my body below is moving. So for example, if I move my hands to the left and move my eyes to the right, that is two drivers at the same time transmitting motion through the neck. That's a lot of motion. And if those areas aren't moving properly, it's going to cause, that's when the most likelihood of stress occurring in the neck causing damage, which then leads to healing, which is inflammation, by the way. Inflammation is the second phase of healing. So that essentially is we can have each individual driver occurring at the same, individually or at the same time, and then when they're occurring in the opposite direction. So what I just gave you was hands go left, eyes go right. That's a disaster right there, a recipe for disaster if both those drivers are not moving properly. We could also have them both happening at the same time in the same direction. I could look right and turn my hands to the right. That's typically not when there's a problem because the stress that's occurring in the spine is not to the same degree as when they're going in the opposite direction. So hopefully that helps you understand what goes wrong with the neck. It's not the neck's fault. It doesn't wake up and decide to be in pain. It's the areas above and below that are causing stress in the neck. And so I will later on talk to you about strategies on how to improve those drivers.